Okay, this video will deal with enharmonics, and we'll also go over the notes on a piano keyboard for anyone who needs that information. So first, as you can see, I have drawn a piano keyboard. I know it's terrible, but it will suffice for our purposes. I will going to label the keys. We're starting with C, which is always the one to the right of the pair of black keys. Then we have D, E, F, G, A, B, and then there's a second C. That's the next octave of C. So hopefully you know by now that the way you get around the keyboard is by looking at the groups of black keys. There is this one pair, and then we have the group of three right there. Very important that you remember that and that you remember where each key goes. Now let's talk about the names of the black keys on the keyboard. This is where it gets more complicated, right? Because we have this key, which is C sharp or D flat, because it is one step higher than C and one step lower than D. That's why it has both names. So the next black key that you see is both D sharp and E flat. The next one is F sharp and G flat. The next one is G sharp and A flat. This is a G. I'm going to make sure this is clearly a G. Let's try that again. G sharp. Cool. All right, and then we have A sharp or B flat. So those are the names of the black keys. Each of them has two names, but there are a couple of white keys that also have two names that are going to come up, and this is where music theory gets complicated, because we have two pairs of white keys that do not have a black key between them, E and F and B and C, which means that E sharp is another name for F, because F is one step above E. Similarly, F flat is another name for E. Okay, and then we just do the exact same thing with B and C. B sharp is another name for C, and C flat is another name for B. Okay, you can also rename the other white keys. For instance, D could be C double sharp. A double sharp is represented by an X, but we are not going to have any of the double sharps or double flats on our quiz, so you don't need to worry about it. You do need to worry very much about these, because a lot of people got these wrong on the first homework assignment. So make sure you understand enharmonics and you don't just try to go by a formula. You need to really think about the keyboard whenever an enharmonics question appears.